This is the Tunisian crochet bump stitch, or also known as top stitch. It is one of my favourite stitches, and it looks particularly nice when two different colours are blended, and this is how I do it. With the bump stitch, any number of stitches will do, so I'm going to chain 10 so that there will be 10 loops on the hook. Now I have 10 chains, I'm going to create a Tunisian crochet foundation row the easy way. And here is a link to the video about how to create a Tunisian crochet foundation row the easy way. With all the loops cast on, it's worth checking that there are 10 loops, and indeed there are 10. Now I'm going to introduce the second colour at the chain 1 stage of the return pass. And to do this I'm grabbing the pink yarn with the hook and chaining 1. And I'm going to mark the end of the row with a stitch marker with the pink and blue strands of yarn on the left. And now for a normal Tunisian crochet return pass. And here is a link to the video about how to do a Tunisian crochet return pass. So I'm going to grab the yarn with the hook and pull the yarn through 2 loops, and then grab the yarn again and pull through 2 loops, and so on until the end of the row, when there will be 1 loop left on the hook. And it is worth keeping the tension quite loose so that on the forward pass it is going to be easier to work into the top bumps. So there is 1 loop on the hook now, and I am going to find the first top bump to work into, and that is above the second blue vertical bar from the end, and that is it there. It may be necessary just to pull the bump to allow the hook access to the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, and continue working into the top bumps all the way along the row to the end. For the last stitch, instead of working into the marked space, I'm going to work into the top bump above it and then count the number of loops to make sure none are being gained or lost. For the next return pass, change colour, bringing the blue yarn to the back, and then chain 1 with it, mark the space at the end of the row, and then continue with a normal Tunisian crochet return pass until the end of the row, when there will be 1 loop left on the hook. Now you can see how the two colours are starting to blend together really nicely. For the forward pass, work into the blue bumps at the top of each stitch. Again, it may be necessary to pull the bump up a little to gain access, yarn over, pull up a loop and continue working into the bumps all along the row until the end. Again, it's a good idea to check the number of loops on the hook. Then bring the pink yarn, that's the second colour, to the back. Then chain one. Replacing the stitch marker at the end of the row, and then continue with a normal return pass. Until there is one loop left on the hook. And just continue with forward passes and return passes, alternating colours at the chain one stage of the return pass until the project is of the desired length. Incidentally, you can see that I'm struggling to get the hook into the top bump. That is because the return pass isn't as loose as it should have been. So I've added a few more rows, and now I'm doing the final return pass. So I have chained one with the blue yarn at the end of the row and just tightening the pink loop. Now I'm going to do a normal Tunisian crochet return pass before I bind the project off by slip stitching. And to finish the project off neatly, I'm going to slip stitch into the top bumps. So there's the first top bump, push the hook through it, yarn over and pull through both loops. So there is one loop on the hook, and that's the first slip stitch. Now do exactly the same with the next stitch. Insert the hook into the top bump, yarn over and pull through both loops. And for the third stitch, as before, insert the hook into the top bump, yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops. And continue slip stitching into the top bumps until the end of the row. And the last slip stitch will be into the top bump above the stitch marker. Yarn over and pull through both loops. Just going to secure the last loop with the stitch marker, and this is the swatch of bump stitch, otherwise known as top stitch, made with two colours blended together. And this is what it looks like on the reverse of the fabric.